Welcome back to the neighborhood, boys and girls. Tonight we have a special guest, Keenan from South Jersey Real Producers Magazine, someone who's moving and shaking in the business right now. Keenan, welcome to the neighborhood.
Thank you, Jim. Always a pleasure.
Awesome, awesome. So, tell everybody in the neighborhood a little bit about what you do and how you got into this crazy business of real estate.
Good questions, good questions. My name is Keenan Anderson. I am the owner and publisher of South Jersey Real Producers Magazine. We are a marketing and events platform that we are hyper-focused on working with the top 500 real estate agents in the South Jersey market, along with the most referred real estate professionals. We have a monthly newsletter that goes out, distributed. Shout out Rob Bunis, congratulations on our 1-year anniversary cover story. A lot of big things happening with them. So we work directly arm in arm with these top 500 real estate agents, and of course, building relationships and making connections, elevating, inspiring between the best of the best on the professional side, with the vendors like Jim, as well as these agents that we're speaking on.
And you know, we've seen through social media a lot of the events that you put on. So when you're concocting this magical event in your mind, what's the process that goes on, and what's your goal of what you're really looking to achieve when you put on some of these major events?
So with the goal, what we're trying to achieve, ultimately we're trying to curate an environment that is laid back and social. Agents like to be in relaxed environments. People want to be around people that they like, that they know, that they trust. So we rely heavily on referrals from real estate agents to businesses like yourself. So everybody we work with comes highly recommended. With that being said, it's a room full of very successful entrepreneurs. So being that the group is filled with already successful individuals, I think it allows us to naturally take down the guard a little bit.
Yeah.
Take your cape off.
Remove the egos a little bit. And
there's pressure, man. You know?
Yeah.
It's a competitive environment. It's a competitive business naturally, and I think that's what ultimately sets the bar with these agents and professionals like yourself.
There's not a lot of times where you get all of those people in the same room. Like you might get everybody from Keller Williams in one room, and you maybe get everybody from Berkshire in one room, but you don't get the stars from Berkshire, Keller Williams, EXP, all these other places. It's tough to get them all together.
And we cover such a large territory. South Jersey is a large area, I guess you could say. We cover Burlington, Gloucester, Salem, and Camden counties. So there's a ton of great agents, down from Arkansas to Medford to Burlington, up to Columbus, and down south towards Sicklerville, Williamstown, and things like that. So we try to spread the love around. You'll see we aren't biased to any particular broker. It's cool to highlight some of the mom and pops and the boutique brokerages, as well as the stars at the top. We all know the brands, but we're here to just kind of humanize everybody in the workspace. There's a lot of business that gets done in the actual humanistic aspect of people behind the businesses, which we're trying to bring to light. So it's enjoyable to be able to tell the stories of these hungry entrepreneurs. Some have been around for 5 years, some have been around for 40 plus. So
yeah.
You meet all walks of life. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of, anytime you can tell the story of somebody else and give them space to feel comfortable to tell their story.
Yeah.
I think it goes a long way.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, so let's fast forward 2024, April.
We all still gonna be
April 21st, 2024. Where is Keenan and South Jersey Real Producers 2 years from today?
On top, baby.
Okay.
On top. How do we ensure that we sign up with great businesses like yourself, reputable? There's power in numbers.
Sure.
So the more we bring on, the bigger the events, the bigger the production, the bigger the stories. You know, things take time. We just celebrated our 1-year anniversary, like I touched on. There's been a lot of work that gets put into starting your first year of business. We had COVID. We had a refi boom.
Can't really gloss over COVID. COVID's like,
now we have a lack of inventory.
all-time pandemic. Just COVID.
It's fun though. What you saw over the last 2 years, especially, and I've almost been blessed with this, that you see people kind of evolve through the struggles, through the adversity.
Sure.
Kind of take their businesses to the next level, because they were already great, but now added to the artillery a little bit of what's next. What wall are we going to have to kick down next? But the top 500 agents, being that they do about 80% plus business,
Sure.
there's a lot of room for growth from mortgage lenders, title companies, landscapers, roofers, builders.
Yeah.
Listen, if you're in real estate, these are the people you want to be in front of. And we are all fortunate, I think, to be able to be in this circle of
Yes,
excellence.
We are. Okay, so let's get a little bit into your personal life. Is there anything that you do that's like your passion, or something that you do in your spare time that like warms your heart and really is your part of your why and what you do?
I do a lot of things. Travel, life, food,
Food is
adult
good.
libations.
Yeah.
What do? I still bartend part-time. I own my own private bartending company.
Okay.
If you ever need a private event bartender, give me a call. I got some great staff members,
Nice.
including myself, for the right occasion, of course. But I don't think I was meant to be a bartender. I don't think I was ultimately meant to publish a magazine.
Right.
But you know, life kind of takes you to new places. You kind of go with the flow of things. So that being said, when it comes down to like events and hospitality, I think that still holds a good portion of my interest.
Okay.
It's tough to replicate the importance of an event, whether it be Christmas, Easter, Hanukkah, a 300-person wedding, and
Sure.
an event 18 months after COVID. We threw our first event in, I think, October 28th at the Ramblewood Country Club. We had about 100, 150 agents come out, and you could see the enjoyment of almost like being around your peers,
Right. Right.
which you can't.
We took it for granted.
The
You know what I
power
mean?
of a room is important, and I think we always took it for granted. I think we take a lot of things for granted,
Mhm.
but that being on the forefront, you don't see your friends, your colleagues. There's a lot of good relationships amongst these people. You work hand in hand with them
Right.
on a daily basis. I know you don't get to see everybody all the time, but being able to create that room and see people naturally caring about each other, genuinely wondering what everybody's been up to.
Right. Right.
It's been a rough 2 years, man. So,
Yeah.
I still enjoy being behind a bar, getting to know people. You see, especially at a bar, you get to know people pretty well.
Yeah, you get to see the real side of people.
You have
little
celebration,
buzz, you
you
know?
have mourning, you have a rough day at work, you have success. It's it's every aspect, and I think being able to gauge that and understand people on a larger scale, it's really cool to be able to, when people are vulnerable around you or feel comfortable enough to tell their story,
Yeah.
I think you're doing something right.
Yeah. Heck yeah. All right. Last question. Any person throughout history, alive or dead, you could sit down and have an hour-long conversation with, who would it be?
Tolkien.
Tolkien?
Man. Big Lord of the Rings guy.
Okay.
Got a
All
couple of
right.
tattoos. He was a linguist.
Okay. That's such an interesting answer. That is awesome.
There's a bunch of people, but Tolkien would be it.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely Tolkien.
Awesome.
How about you?
For me,
Yeah.
so I talk about this. It's not a famous person, but when I was in high school, my best friend killed himself.
Oh.
And
Okay.
I never really understood why. You know, I think about it all the time. I mean, it's been 31 years,
Yeah.
and I actually did a video about it not too long ago. And I would love to just understand
Why?
why. You know what I mean? Because it was such a surprise.
Just getting
And
chills, dude.
he was, yeah. I got a little goosebumps when I talked
No,
about
it's
it.
real.
But that's the truth. If I could talk to anyone, I would like 5 minutes with them just to really to find out, because it eats at me if there was anything I could have done. You know what I mean?
Right.
If there was, why didn't I see something, or was it just such a deep thing inside him that that he hid from everybody? You know,
Yeah.
like I did, you know, really beat myself up for not seeing anything, but
Could've
nobody
moved
saw
you.
it. You know?
To leave you with a lifetime of wonder.
Yeah, yeah.
So I just touching on that because suicide prevention is real. Mental health is real.
Yeah.
We do implement charities into all of our events. Try to do good on a hyper local level. So, excuse me. That is something that's on the forefront. That topic especially. It's crazy you brought that up, but I was just watching the Anthony Bourdain special.
Sure.
And his friends, which are his production team, they naturally started talking about that on the back end of, could I have been there? Could I have asked one more question? Could I have done something else? Just to put your arm around somebody at certain times, and you never know what anybody's going through. So,
Yeah, man, for sure.
yeah, hell yeah, that's a good answer.
Awesome.
Appreciate you, man.
Thank you very much for
having
coming
me in
by
the
the neighborhood. Awesome.
Thank you, guys.
We'll be back in 1
See
second.
everybody soon.
And now, some of our neighborhood friends will read questions from other people in the neighborhood that are watching the show.
Stephen from Voorhees says, my credit isn't good, 575 through 600. My fiance, hers is a bit better, but hasn't worked in over 2 years at her current job. Our rent now is over $2,000 a month, which is a waste of money that could be going into a nice home. So I guess my question is, besides working on our credit, which would take a while, can we ever get a mortgage?
Steve from Voorhees, another excellent question. There's a lot of things that you can do to get yourself ready to buy a house. My first suggestion would be to sit down with a licensed loan originator like Mr. Mortgage or someone else who can look at your credit and see, because a lot of times mortgage credit is different than Credit Karma and a lot of the other people that are out there giving credit reports. So it's best to sit down with them, have them go over your scores, all your trade lines, so they can advise you the quickest way to get you above whatever the lendable score is for the product that you need.
Mike from Philly says, should my first property be a condo or a single family home?
Mike from Philly, that's an excellent question. It really has a lot to do with personal taste. There are definitely pluses and minuses with both properties. A condo can be something that's easily rented out as an investment property in a few years after you buy your home. A single family home, on the other hand, tends to appreciate a little bit higher and might be a better investment in the future. So it really depends on your own personal needs, but either way, Mr. Mortgage feels that buying real estate can never be a mistake. Welcome back, boys and girls. Now we have another special guest, an Envoy employee, Dave Pallies. Welcome to the neighborhood, Dave.
Thank you, Mr. Mortgage. Good to be here.
It's wonderful, isn't it? It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
It certainly is. It's always a beautiful day in the neighborhood here.
Now, David happens to be one of the people that I've worked with for 11 years now, about?
I
Probably in
think
that range,
a
12
little
years,
longer than that.
2010.
Maybe 11 or 12, somewhere
Yeah.
in there, yeah.
So tell everyone in the neighborhood how different your job is now than it was 11 years ago when you first started.
Well, back then it was one thing we did almost exclusively refinances, I remember
Yeah.
back then, and now it's almost all purchases, which is a lot of fun. The technology is a lot different now. It seems like there's so many more rules and regulations. They seem to grow every year. So you really need a good company backing up, because it's really hard to keep up with all the regulations and the technology that's involved in it. But we have a lot of the technology helps things go smoother too, which
Sure.
makes it really great.
Sure, it's kind of one of those double-edged swords. Sometimes it's a pain and we can't live without it. Kind of.
Technology's great when it works, but when
Mhm.
it doesn't work, you're in bad shape. So,
For sure.
Yeah.
And then we also, switching from the refinances to the purchase market, you have that other added pressure of, you have customers that are buying houses, but really your realtor partners are also your customers, you know, where you have to kind of keep them happy and keep them informed, and it adds an extra layer of customer service too.
Yeah, you know, when you're doing a purchase, you have two customers.
Mhm.
You've got the buyer, and you've got the realtor. So you got to keep them both happy.
Yeah, for sure. What do you think your favorite part of it is? Is it the closing? Is it the getting to know people and doing the origination? What's your favorite part of the job?
Well, I mean, closing is where all the glory comes in, and that's the fun part. But I mean, my favorite part of it is, in this business, you really do get to make people's dreams come true.
Mhm.
And, you know, working with people and helping them get their dream home and just getting them into a home. I work with a lot of first-time home buyers, and even people when you're buying their second or third home. You're still helping them make their dreams come true, and that's really the best part of it.
And we've worked for a couple different, we'll minimize it, a couple different mortgage companies over
Yeah,
the
just
years.
a couple.
What do you like about Envoy, the company that we're at now? What do you like most about them, and what separates them from some of the previous ex-girlfriends that we've had that we worked with?
Well, I'll tell you, there's a few things. First of all, when you're the loan officer, you're on the front line, and if anything goes wrong, no matter where it is, you're the guy that's going to get the heat for it. And the company itself, Envoy, that backs us, loan officers out there, does a fantastic job. So they very rarely drop the ball. Now, things still happen, but when something happens and it's the company's fault, you take the heat for it. And we don't really get a lot of that because they're really a great team, the company backing us. And the other thing is the office atmosphere that we have here. It's like a family here. Everyone works together, helping each other get things through, and it's a really fantastic atmosphere we have here. And the charity work that we do too is great. The second Saturday charity work,
Sure.
we're volunteering, getting out there. So that's really, those are the things that separate us from the other places where I've worked.
And you brought up Second Saturday. If the people in the neighborhood don't really know what that is, tell them a little bit about Second Saturday, and you were a big part of a couple of them that we've had so far. What was your favorite one that we've done?
Yeah, Second Saturday is a charity thing that we do here where we volunteer. The people in the office all volunteer. We find charitable causes that we can donate our time to. We go out to Second Saturday every month and try and help people. And I think one of the really cool ones we did, there was a local veteran who was disabled, and he had some real problems at his house.
Mm-hmm.
And we went out and helped did some work on the outside of his house, get his yard straightened out, and some other things, and really helped him out. He really needed the help, but it's rewarding whenever you can do it. This one in particular was a veteran. I always like helping veterans because they've sacrificed so much for us.
Sure. Yeah, I love it. You know, like you said, helping Joe out at his house, going to the last stop in Kensington and handing out sandwiches.
That was awesome.
To the homes. This was awesome, and it gets us a chance to work with, like, your daughter came out and helped for the one, and we had a couple realtor partners come out to the Habitat for Humanity. So it really gets us a chance to all come together, whether it's just employees or other partners, and actually not just work together, because we work together every day, but it's a different atmosphere when you're doing something like that. You're volunteering your time. It brings everybody closer.
And it's nice to meet people's families. I
Yeah.
remember we were in here during that last stop weekend when we went out there and served lunch, and I think we had 20 people in here making sandwiches and bagging up lunches and stuff. And
Kids and the
kids
adults.
and all chipping in, and it was great. And we went over there and handed them out. That was really nice. So it's that gives the office more of that family feel that I talked about, where you actually get to meet people's families, and you get to meet their kids and stuff, and their spouses, and it's a great feeling.
Nice. Okay, personal question. It's a Saturday afternoon, beautiful day out. You have nothing to do. What's Dave Pally's doing on a beautiful day, Saturday afternoon in spring?
Well, I like to get outdoors. One of my favorite things to do is fish, so I'll probably be out there fishing on a
Nice.
beautiful spring afternoon.
Nice, like it. What's your favorite? You do a lot of different kinds of fishing.
I do.
So what's your favorite? I know the answer already, but tell everyone in the neighborhood your favorite type of fishing.
I've done a lot of fishing in my day, and I found that fly fishing for trout is my favorite thing to do. I love the fly fishing for trout, so that's the one thing that I like more than anything. But I do like all different kinds of fishing.
Sure, nice. All right, last question. You hit the lottery, you won $1 million. What's the first thing Dave Pally's is buying?
Wow, that's a good question. I think probably the first thing I would buy would be a vacation. So I love to travel.
Yeah.
So if we're talking about something that's not a tangible object, I think the first thing I would do would be to just take a long trip to several countries.
Several countries.
Around the world, hit a lot of stops. So just
At least 30 days.
Yeah.
At least 30
Why not?
Right.
Got nowhere else to be
Gotta
after
go.
that.
Nice.
As much as I love Envoy, I might have to take a
We would
couple
understand.
weeks off. You would.
We're nice here in the neighborhood. We definitely understand that. Awesome, Dave. Thank you very much for coming to the neighborhood.
Thank you, Mr. Mortgage.
We'll be back with the next guest right after this.